بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. Give them, O Prophet, an example of two men. To the disbelieving one, we gave 2 gardens of grape vines, which we surrounded with palm trees, and placed various crops in between. Each garden yielded all its produce, never falling short, and we caused a river to flow between them. And he had other resources as well. So he boasted to a poor companion of his, while conversing with him, I am greater than you in wealth and superior in manpower. And he entered his property while wronging his soul, saying, I do not think this will ever perish, nor do I think the hour will ever come. And if in fact I am returned to my Lord, I will definitely get a far better outcome than all this. His believing companion replied, while conversing with him, Do you disbelieve in the one who created you from dust, then developed you from a sperm drop, then formed you into a man? But as for me, He is Allah, my Lord, and I will never associate anyone with my Lord in worship. If only you had said upon entering your property, This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except with Allah, even though you see me inferior to you in wealth and offspring. Perhaps my Lord will grant me something better than your garden, and send down upon your garden a thunderbolt from the sky, turning it into a barren waste. Or its water may sink into the earth, and then you will never be able to seek it out. And so all his produce was totally ruined. So he started to wring his hands for all he had spent on it, while it had collapsed on its trellises. He cried, Alas, I wish I had never associated anyone with my Lord in worship. And he had no manpower to help him against Allah, nor could he even help himself. At this time, support comes only from Allah, the true Lord. He is best in reward and best in outcome. And give them a parable of this worldly life. It is like the plants of the earth, thriving when sustained by the rain we send down from the sky. Then they soon turn into chaff, scattered by the wind, and Allah is fully capable of doing all things. Wealth and children are adornment of this worldly life, but the everlasting good deeds are far better with your Lord, in reward and in hope. Beware of the day we will blow the mountains away, and you will see the earth laid bare, and we will gather all humankind, leaving none behind. They will be presented before your Lord in rows, and the deniers will be told, You have surely returned to us all alone, as we created you the first time, although you always claimed that we would never appoint a time for your return. And the record of deeds will be laid open, and you will see the wicked in fear of what is written in it. They will cry, Woe to us! What kind of record is this, that does not leave any sin, small or large, unlisted? They will find whatever they did present before them, and your Lord will never wrong anyone. And remember when we said to the angels, Prostrate before Adam, so they all did, but not Iblis, who was one of the jinn, but he rebelled against the command of his Lord. Would you then take him and his descendants as patrons instead of me, although they are your enemy? What an evil alternative for the wrongdoers to choose. I never called them to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, or even their own creation, nor would I take the misleaders as helpers. And beware of the day he will say, Call upon those you claimed were my associate gods, so they will call them. but will receive no response, and we will make them all share in the same doom. The wicked will see the fire and realize that they are bound to fall into it, and will find no way to avoid it. We have surely set forth in this Quran every kind of lesson for people, but humankind is the most argumentative of all beings. And nothing prevents people from believing when guidance comes to them and from seeking their Lord's forgiveness, except their demand to meet the same fate of earlier deniers, or that the tormentor would confront them face to face. We do not send the messengers except as deliverers of good news and warners, but the disbelievers argue in falsehood, hoping to discredit the truth with it and make a mockery of my revelations and warnings. And who does more wrong than those who, when reminded of their Lord's revelations, turn away from them and forget what their own hands have done? We have certainly cast veils over their hearts, leaving them unable to comprehend this Quran, and deafness in their ears. And if you, O Prophet, invite them to true guidance, they will never be rightly guided. Your Lord is the all-forgiving, full of mercy. If He were to seize them immediately for what they commit, He would have certainly hastened their punishment. But they have an appointed time from which they will find no refuge. Those are the societies we destroyed when they persisted in wrong, and we had set a time for their destruction. And remember when Moses said to his young assistant, I will never give up until I reach the junction of the two seas, even if I travel for ages. But when they finally reached the point where the seas met, they forgot their salted fish, and it made its way into the sea, slipping away wondrously. When they had passed further, he said to his assistant, Bring us our meal. We have certainly been exhausted by today's journey. He replied, Do you remember when we rested by the rock? That is when I forgot the fish. None made me forget to mention this except Satan, and the fish made its way into the sea miraculously. Moses responded, That is exactly what we were looking for. So they returned, retracing their footsteps.